Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me in Karen Hunter is Awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed. Kevin and Marie were having a conversation off mic, and there's so many people that are holding on to talk with you in particular because I believe we're in a crisis, not just constitutionally, but folk do not believe in politicians. And I'm not an Republican Democrat person because I don't know what that means anymore. If you would tell me MAGA's Republican, I can go back to Jack Kemp. I said, like, there's certain markers. That's not this. This is not politics anymore. We're dealing in some other horrible, strange space. So we're going to need to approach it differently. And I feel like Chuck Schumer got his ass handed to him last week. And just saw Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman, who got primaried, having a podcast together, talking about AIPAC. I believe money should be out of politics. I believe Citizens United should be overturned. I believe that Congress people should not be able to insider trade. I believe all of that. I think there should be term limits for Supreme Court justices. I believe a lot of things. But how do we get it done? And is it possible? Marie Newman.
Well, it's what you said in the outset, Karen, is that we do need new people to run. I do believe that the party needs to be rebuilt, reinvented, and started from scratch. I hate to use my own branding, but we just do. We have lost our way. We stopped listening to rural folks. We stopped listening to folks in smaller towns. We stopped listening to working families real every day, like they're every day. Like what it's like when you walk out the door and you're working 3 jobs and, I don't even know where to start to teach them how to. I sat in front of a bunch of big groups in DC the other day. This is actually a couple of weeks ago, and said, I don't think any of you can tell me about the average person's every day. Tell me how that works. None of them could quite. I mean, it was a lot of and that broke my heart, right? Like nobody can say like, hey, this is really hard when you're a working parent and you're dropping someone off at daycare. And then your next job is to make sure that they have everything that they need in the day, whether it is health care or extra care or whatever, get them to wherever they need to be after school. I can't afford my kids' soccer shoes because you know what, gas and eggs are too expensive and healthcare is too expensive. So getting new people that really understand what an everyday is like is really important. So if you have the lived experience of an everyday, run.
Yeah. And to your point, Shirley Chisholm, like great congresswoman, was a librarian. People forget that practical experiences, just like yourself, in the community, real experiences in the community where you live.
Yeah. And many people have been. Look at Cori Bush. She was an activist, a nurse, an educator. She was in the community doing amazing work. And I think she ran 3 times before she actually won. So that stick-to-itiveness is, it's beyond impressive.
But then she got primary.
She and Jamal and I all had, and a few others had the same disease. It's called AIPAC. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did this happen? And is there an equal and opposite? Science tells me for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Can there be an equal and opposite reaction to this? Because no entity should be able to control the outcome of an election based on the amount of money that they're able to put and messaging that they're able to put out there. That feels undemocratic.
It is undemocratic, which is why I believe what you believe, Karen, is that money should not be in politics. And I think we have to have a reckoning with corporate PACs because they're just as liable for all of this horrible activity and AIPAC. And I think that they have to be outlawed, period. Now, we can't do that until we get the right people back in office. So back to running, please run. If you believe you want money out of politics, it's about all of us getting up and standing up and saying, no, we won't tolerate that anymore. Because I got to tell you, there's a lot of corporate Democrats and all they worry about is fundraising all day long.
Listen, I remember, I'll keep telling this story because I did a book with Keith Ellison. I published this book, My Country 'Tis of Thee. And so I spent a great deal of time with him. And he said, this is the most distasteful thing. I'm one of the few people that's not a millionaire, but
Yeah.
I have to fundraise constantly. I have to go to these things, and I can't serve my people while I'm out here trying to raise money. And it
I
just,
hated it. It's why I lost, just to be clear. Like I didn't do enough of it because I absolutely hated it. It made my skin crawl.
is there a way around that? Because it's a catch-22. You got to elect people who are going to be about not spending money, but to
Right.
get them elected, you're going to need the money. So is there a
Yeah.
way
I
around?
mean, short term, I think what we have to do is find people that are willing to support the legislation that will stop PACs. So we have to find them first, fund them on small dollar donations, and friends and family and a lot of hard work, and a lot of walking doors, right? Those are the people that we want, right? So whether it is Jamal Bowman, Cori Bush, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and there's a long list, right? They all believe that taking money out of politics. And by the way, before we overturn Citizen United, and that's probably a good 30 years away because we have 6 Supreme Court judges that will never overturn it. But before then, there are things we can do. So don't listen to the people say that, well, there's nothing we can do, because a lot of corporate Democrats will be like, oh, we can't do anything. We can. We can outlaw corporate PACs. We can outlaw the APACs of the world. We can stop high dollar donations and all of the funny business, and we can stop dark money, right? So, and we can stop super PACs. So, if we outlaw those things, that starts to chip away at Citizens United, and then it has time to tumble down. But I'm with you, Karen, and Democrats get mad when I say this, but I think there should be term limits in the House and the Senate too. I don't think
Yes,
it's just the Supreme Court.
I agree.
Why,
I agree.
why is that such a wild
I
notion?
know people get so cranky with me though. Oh my God.
Well, unlike Congresswoman Newman, who has a full
Hold on,
life
Kevin.
before. Sorry.
Hold on. I need to understand, what is the magic of being in Congress that people
Hmm.
will hold on to it until their hands turn black and until they glitch out? What
It's
what
like I do have that same visual, like they're hanging on like on the edge, like, oh God, it is amazing to me because what I would tell my team all the time is that, look, folks, we do the right thing and we say the right thing, and I'm literally pissing off everybody, right? So we probably are going to lose our jobs. You can't be afraid to lose your job if you do the right thing. Now, folks that are raising families and have kids, I understand the practicality. Like, you've got to keep a bad job and maybe a bad boss till you can figure out the next thing. So don't quit your job, obviously. But if I lose my job for doing the right thing and making the right choices and being honest, authentic, and transparent, then it's okay to lose your job. Because as I always tell everybody, it's like, I can always do something, right? Like, I can flip burgers, I can clean houses, I can always do something, right? So I wasn't afraid to lose my job. But to answer your question about why they hang on, yeah, um, they believe they worked so hard to get there that they are entitled to this. So that's one. Two, their egos don't allow them to say, wow, I really like this title. I really like that people, fawn over me. I will tell you, the first month I was in Congress, everyone was calling me Congresswoman and said, this is getting very painful. Can you guys just call me Marie or hey you? Because really, the whole thing, Congresswoman, like it takes forever. So people dig all that stuff. They just really do. They love being called, a certain title, and they love being deferent to and all of those things, So you can't fall in love with that stuff because you're not getting your job done. So yeah, they hang on because they love it and it's their ego, and their corporate entities keep them in, kind of corralled.
Wow.
Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me in Karen Hunter is Awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power, a 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.